Are you blaming yourself for all the bad decisions that you took in your life so far? Is fear or guilt ruling your head right now? Are you feeling some sense of hopelessness or some sense of, insecurity in your life? Then, my friend, this video is meant for you. This is part of our mental fitness podcast, which I've started recently. A lot of you have been requesting me to post videos on mental stability. And as part of the series, this is our episode number 2. If you haven't watched the episode number 1, I have given the link in the description. Just go watch it. Even I have recommended that in the cards. So don't miss that. That's something, an insightful video. And then you can also watch this one. All the series is focusing on one thing. See, why do people trip? Why do people become mentally unstable? Why negative feelings rules us? And the answer the answer for all these questions and that inner seeking that you have, I hope these videos will help you to get there. That's the intention for me to doing this video. So with no further delay, let's get inside this episode number 2. Hey guys, welcome to my channel Gold Mage. I'm Priya and I'm really excited to see you here one more time. I know that every human being would have guilt and fear. It's not like just because I'm doing this video I'm all positive all the time. In fact, the reason why I do this video is I have gone through a big journey of guilt trip in my life. I've been scared, very scared in a lot of time in my life. I'm super vulnerable, and because I've been vulnerable in so many moments of my life, I explored myself in depth, and whatever I have understood and the strategies that has helped me to overcome certain situations in my life, I'm going to share them genuinely with you in this video. And I'm sure most of you can relate to the substance or the content that I'm talking to you in this video, and if this can bring a change in your life, it would mean a lot to me. My friends, let me tell you this. In fact, I want to open this video with this one statement. All of us are damaged in our own ways. Nobody is perfect. I think we have screwed our lives enough in our own ways, be it in our relationships or in our profession, or basically, like living your passion, taking care of your health, any which ways, in one or the other areas, I think some kind of damage would have been caused, because as a human we always live between order and disorder. And I want to explore this feeling of guilt and fear to you in a profound way that I have understood so far in my life. See, if you ask me, in my own definition, I would say guilt is nothing but unfulfilled potential. I want to repeat that. Guilt is nothing but unfulfilled potential. You ask me to describe it, I would say this because I have experienced this feeling. Let me give you a little more example. Say for instance, let's begin with something very simple. I am a trainer speaker. I've conducted a lot of classes, but every single time, let's imagine you have to address a crowd of 1,000 people and you're walking in the dais. How many times you must have done this, but still there is a feeling of, that butterflies in your stomach or some kind of spine tickling feeling, some kind of anxiety. It's there every single time you see a big crowd. Now, there are 4 things that happens to me in every experience of my life. Number 1, so let's imagine the situation. I have 1,000 people in front of me and I have to deliver a speech to them. So I'm walking towards the dais. Now 4 things would happen to me in this experience, not just to me, for all of us. Every incident, every experience in your life will have these 4 aspects, I would say. First one is a biological aspect. As I said, you are excited, you are anxious, you want to perform well, and that shows in your body. Maybe like butterflies in your stomach, or heaviness, or some kind of unexplainable feeling in here, or spine tickling feeling, or sweating. It could be any form, but biology plays a vital role in every experience. I hope you get this clearly. Then psychology. When I say psychology, the voices in our head. So while you're going through this anxiety or nervousness of facing someone, there is a voice that says you have to do better. This is your big day. You can't screw this up. Are you prepared enough? Are you want to do well? What is going to be your first line? Whatever, a series of thoughts that could run in my head. And then The next phase is social. See, whatever anxiety I feel inside, the moment I am in front of somebody, I would smile at them. See, nervousness is inside. But you see someone, you're like pulling off that confidence image. So socially for the world, you act an image outside every single time. See, you are upset, screaming on top of your voice in your bedroom. Suddenly your neighbor comes and clicks the doorbell. You will not go with that anger and open the door, right? You know the situation is bad in the house, but when you open the door, you will pull out a smile. That is the sociology of it. What I'm saying is, every experience, you are driven by the societal response, the societal norms. So whatever experience that you go through, third phase or third aspect of it is how the rest of the world might perceive it, and your act to pull or create an image for that incident. And number 4 is spiritual. Now when I say spiritual aspect, I'm not talking about instant connection with God. I'm talking about every experience will teach us something. And with that learning, either you get better, or with that understanding you get worse. That's a choice that we do. But then every experience in our life gives us some kind of soul, what do I say? Nurturing, soul nurturing. You learn something. See, I am today sitting in front of this camera speaking whatever that's coming in my head. And why am I doing this? All these words that are translating, and the way I'm expressing myself, it's nothing but I'm pulling off my personality in front of you. And all this personality that I have and I flaunt about or I'm proud of, it did not form on day one. It's like the series of experiences made my soul, made my mind, made my personality this way. So every incident in our life has these 4 facets. So you are in a fight, biology. Maybe you're screaming on top of your voice enhanced, or your hand movements, or your eyes with rage, whatever, biology plays. Psychology, when you're angry, you are just trying to prove yourself, or whatever, the voices that run in your head. Sociology, you might be so angry, but how the world needs to perceive you, you're still acting out a stage. And number 4 is you're learning something out of that experience, and that becomes part of your personality. So these are 4 I have always observed. Every incident in my life, all these 4, not just for me, for all of us, this keeps on playing. But then, when does that experience change into a guilt or a fear? Now, I've been exploring this with various incidents in my life, and I'll give you the same example. Let's imagine now that I've got the mic, 1,000 people are there, and I've started, say, hello friends, whatever, and I'm talking, and let us imagine I screwed it up. I didn't live up to my potential. I could have done better, but that day it was not a great talk from my end. Now, anyways, you will save your face, you will speak something, you will do all blah blah blah. Then I come down from the dais. Now, the feeling that I have, the feeling that I'll get inside me, I would call that miserable feeling as guilty. Why? Because I had a potential to be a great speaker, and I screwed it up. I didn't live up to my fulfilled potential. Now, when you cannot fulfill a potential, the feeling that you get is guilt. Let me give you a little more understanding on this concept. Let's imagine a couple, husband and wife. Let's imagine the husband cheats on the wife. I just want you to, relate to that situation. Now, the husband is having an affair with another woman. He could see, like, there is a beautiful quote by Johnny Depp, the actor. It's a funny quote, but then it makes a lot of sense. He says, when you love 2 people at the same time, always choose the second one. Because if you had really loved the first one, you wouldn't have chosen the second. So it's just the funny part. But then, see, infidelity happens. Sometimes most of the couples end up cheating their partners or their spouses. Some bad things, some bad marriages, failed marriages. Every now and then we see it. In my own circle, I've seen a lot of testimonies for failed marriages. Now, let's consider one such example. Let's imagine a partner cheats their spouse. They had a complete choice to be honest with the spouse. You know what? I'm seeing someone else. I'm not very happy in this relationship. I think I am moving forward in another direction. Or at least I want to let you know that I'm not truthful to you anymore. All the partners had this option of being open and like letting their partner know that, you know what, I'm not loving you anymore, whatever. But they could have ended it decently, but they try to hide it. They try to contain their feelings, and then they have a second relationship. Now, let's imagine they meet their other partner, come back to home, meet with the spouse, the feeling that they will have when they see their spouse into their eyes, that miserable feeling is called guilty. Why? Because they had the complete potential to be an honest spouse, but they did not fulfill that potential. It's an unfulfilled potential. You couldn't be a good husband, or you couldn't be a good wife, you couldn't be a good son. You could have done better with your parents, you could have maintained a better relationship with them, but then you choose to be, not so good child. You have the feeling whenever you look into the eyes of your parents, you have that guilt feeling. Why? Because I couldn't fulfill my potential. Any form of guilt in your life, my friends, just dig it and research that feeling. You'll understand it's an outcome of always an unfulfilled potential. Now, when you're going through this guilty feeling, again, it affects you in 4 aspects: biology, psychology, socially. See, why do you feel guilty? Like, one thing is the feeling within your heart, the miserable feeling that you go through in your head. What will the world think of me when they find I'm guilty? And then what lesson I drew from this? You get to know more about you during such circumstances. Like, what are you made of? That comes out very clearly. Now, I have gone through a lot of guilt trips. See, right now, I am going through a guilty feeling in my life. See, I've been in for 6 years in the self-improvement industry. And as soon as this pandemic happened, I realized I was more of an offline person, meaning I was conducting a lot of classes for corporates, for public programs. I've trained thousands and thousands of professionals, but then it was always offline, a classroom setup. And I was a very social media shy person. I couldn't even post in a WhatsApp group. Now I'm not that. I can today happily say I have broken that barrier of my personality. Today I'm a very different person. Today I'm excited to post on social media. I'm super excited in doing this video. And in fact, I'm in a stage where I'm impatient. You get what I'm saying? I want to do more of the stuff, because 6 years I made a big mistake. I could have created all these videos, and if I had been growing this channel right from say 2015, today I would have had so much of digital assets. Today I'm doing my online programs, but I didn't care to do it last year or the year before. I missed all the opportunities, and when I look at it, I have this miserable feeling, oh, you had so much of potential but all wasted. And the feeling that I go through is guilt out of it. Most of the time, see, today, if you have a very less bank balance, or if you left a lucrative job, or you screwed up your relationship, or you are not scaled to the next promotion in your life, or you are not being a good parent, any negative situation in your life you are in right now, there is a percentage of guilt that we pass. And that guilt comes because you know that you had a potential and you didn't fulfill it. Have you seen, if somebody is a murder, somebody commits a murder, they say he is guilty of murder. Or somebody commits a crime, they say he is guilty of, burglary, theft, or some crime. Why? Because he had a potential not to commit that crime, yet he didn't fulfill it. Guilty is an outcome of unfulfilled potential. Let's get this very clearly. Now you might ask me, fine Priya, I come to know of this. How does this help me? My friends, let me tell you, any person who loses their mental stability, who trips, see, sanity is just a thin line. If overstimulation of your mind happens, your sanity will break. You will become unstable. And one of the major reasons people become unstable is they know their potential, they couldn't fulfill it, and because of which guilt took over them, that particular person, and today their life is screwed. So for anybody, understanding guilt is a key, ingredient in life. And remember this, if you're guilty today, fine. But there is one positive aspect to look in that. Inside, you know that you had potential. See, if someone spits on the road, and then that fellow feels that, I've been a very bad citizen. How could I do this to my, my country, my city, my state? I should keep this clean. Now that fellow feels that way because he knows that he has a potential to be a good citizen. Whereas let's imagine another auto wala who just goes spits on the road. He has no guilty because he doesn't even know that he has a potential to be a better citizen. So when you know, you get this feeling called guilty. When you do not know, See, there are so many people who commit murder and then they don't even feel bad about it because they don't even understand their potential in the first place. So, the most crucial learning of the day is dissecting guilt in your life. So, every person has guilt in some or the other area of lives. See, for example, I don't have big guilt when it comes to my relationships. Of course, I'm a person who fights with my husband, who shouts at my daughter. I'm not a perfect mom, I'm not a perfect spouse, but then I have worked out a beautiful chemistry with my family, with my friends, that my relationships are not in threat. But when it comes to my profession, my career, I haven't focused, my growth mindset. I could have done better. See, today I'm honestly admitting in this video, I could have really done better. I missed it, and all my regrets or all the guilty feelings or all the low moments that I'm going through right now is because, oh God, you're doing this today, but why not several years before? Similarly, look into your life. I'm just explaining this for you to understand where do you have this guilt feeling. And the moment you understand that whatever suffering you're going through, it's because of guilt, there is a way to address it. We'll come to it, but then I want you to understand guilt. Another reason why negativity completely creeps us is because of this feeling called fear, this emotion called fear. Now, what is fear? Fear is an outcome of unfavorable experience. Like, how do I put this? Let's imagine, take the same public speaking example. So I have 1,000 people in front of me. I just went, hold the mic, I'm talking, I didn't do a good job. So when I say thank you and I walked on, the feeling that I had was guilty because I had a potential to do better. I didn't live up to it. But then after some time I'll get another feeling, oh God, I screwed up this class. What if I don't get another class? What if my job is, is not secure anymore? What if people don't come to me for learning? Now why do I get these feelings? Because these feelings can land me in an unfavorable outcome. See, finally I want students. If they're not coming, it's an unfavorable outcome. You get what I'm saying? So fear is always a result of an unfavorable outcome. So now, see, you're guilty for cheating your spouse, but then you're not telling that to your spouse, because if you tell that to your spouse, they might leave you. That's an unfavorable outcome. So that's why fear takes over, and then your actions or your response to an incident, if it's driven by fear or guilt, we end up making some bad choices. See, last video on the podcast on mental fitness, we discussed that it's not our abilities, only our choices decide the quality of our life, which means it's very crucial for all of us to make some good choices. But if you have to make some better choices in your life, you should not be driven by guilt or fear. You should not be guilty about your past or fearful about your future, so that you have some clarity in taking certain decisions in the present. Now, we need strategies for that. I'm going to share a few things that I usually pep myself up to overcome some guilt or fear of my life. So the first thing I do is, every single time I feel low, this has worked out for me. You have to look at what works out for you. Whenever I've felt low, I have turned on to music. See, I will not have the mood to listen to music, but I will turn myself on to music. I have a collection which is my uplifting collection, and I'm very serious about it. This has worked wonders to me. So whenever I have felt low, whenever my voice and my head is overstimulated, it's making me little unstable, or I'm like little bit shaken with fear, the first and the foremost thing is I realize my biology, my psychology, and I understand, okay, so things are not moving my way. Now is the time to put on my strategy, and I forcefully turn myself to music, though I don't have a mood. But you don't know, within 10 to 15 minutes, there is a shift that happens in my behavior. There are times where I have taken a hot shower. It has helped me to come over. So when I'm sad, or there are moments when I've been vulnerable or some fear, a shower has helped me. There are days I have walked down. I just went for a speed walk. Now, I'm not a person who's like everyday walking. If that's your habit, now that would be much more easy for you. But the moment you go and throw yourself at the outside world, you force yourself to behave normal. See, how much ever abnormality is there within, the moment we are exposed to the world, we want to look sane, we want to look stable, we want to look the world to have an image that we want to imprint in their mind. So we will behave, in a way which is like completely supportive for your mental health. So the moment you feel vulnerable, the best thing is to walk out, expose yourself to the outer world, and move on. See, this may not work out in extreme depression or anxiety situation. See, there is a difference between feeling depressed and real depression. There is a difference between feeling scared and really, going through a schizophrenic or a bipolar state. I'm not talking about medical mental condition. That we will deal. Of course, I have a lot of thoughts and ideas which I need to share to my friends who are going through deep suffering. But to begin with, the moment you feel hopeless, feel depressed, you need strategies to just move out of that situation. Maybe a shower, maybe a song, or maybe good music or a walk can help. But you need to find out what is your power resource that you will turn into. So I always do this. That's a strategy that has worked for me. And number two is I talk to myself. I don't know how many of you generally do this. See, always there is a talk that happens in our head. That's involuntary. But voluntarily trying to converse with you has helped me, has given me a lot of clarity. See, most of the times, those days, like in our olden days, the youngsters in the family would always go and seek the advice of the people who are elder to them. Why? Because they know that the other person might have a little bit more clarity than me. If I explain that, if you talk it out, you get some clarity. So you have your best friend and you're feeling little down, you go and share that to your friend. You feel lightened, but not just that, but when you're talking it out, you get some clarity. So talking things out generally helps. See, most of us may not have a good trustworthy friend to go and share whatever is running in your head, or maybe your problem is such that you cannot open up to anybody, but you can always open up to yourself. This has worked for me. I have spoken to myself in front of a mirror, or I just lie on my bed, look at the ceiling in my bedroom, and then I talk to myself. So okay, so let's look at what's happening to you. I question myself. I answer this dialogue in my head, and with this little dialogue I have always attained clarity. And in this entire journey of my life, I've lived 38, I'm going to be 37. I've lived some 37 years in this world, and one of the deepest lessons I have learnt is life is between order and disorder. See, as human beings, we want to control everything. People who trip, people who become extremely unstable, they become so because they want things in control. These are those people who wanted to control stuff, and when it went out of their control, they trip. I want you to understand this. There are things in your life which you cannot control at all. See, right now I'm breathing. I'm not controlling it. It's involuntary. It happens. My heart is beating. It's involuntary. I can't control everything as per my desires. I want to be up 24 hours, use all the time that I've got to improve my life. But then after 16 hours, I'm going to become dead, exhausted, will fall in my bed asleep. And that's not in my control, involuntary. They say, no, even if you're in a house where a death happened, at least 5 minutes you will end up sleeping. That's not in your control, that's involuntary. So let's understand. There is definitely going to be pain, suffering, anger, guilt, fear. These are all emotions for humans to experience. You cannot have a life without all this. If you're saying, I have no shame, I have no guilt, I have no fear, you're bluffing. I'm not pouring my opinion here. This is truth. Because life is designed in such a way that right now I'm seeing the sun shining. But after several hours, the sun has to disappear, the moon has to come, the darkness has to creep inside, so that you live hours together in darkness so that you can relish the sunshine next day. Nature is designed in chaos. It's not orderly. The river doesn't flow in an orderly manner. The mountains and trees don't grow their branches in an orderly manner. There is disorder in the very design of nature. So if you feel some kind of disorder in you, that's part of being human. That acceptance is more important. See, today, okay, so I have this regret. Fine, I'm guilty that I could have done better in my career. I should have done all this online thing a little bit before, So late to the party, fine. I feel guilt, but the moment I should understand is, even if I go back in time, I would have lived the same life as the Priya lived, because she was not even aware. I did the best thing that I knew at that point in time. I'm doing the best thing that I'm knowing this point in time. See, right now, whatever ideas that I'm sharing, this is the understanding of the life that I lived so far. 5 years down the line, my ideas about guilt can completely change. My ideas about fear and outlook on life can completely change. That means I'm growing. Let's understand this. To enjoy order, you should have experienced disorder. To enjoy pleasure in your life, you must have experienced pain. To see light in your life, you have to definitely experience darkness. And this is not some motivational talk. This is the very nature, and we got to accept it. See, if you are unable to accept the nature of this universal setup, then there's something really wrong with us. You got to understand this very nature, and once you get this clarity, okay, so right now my life is screwed, it's meant to be. Not see, of course your choices drive it, but then you got to go through this experience so that your soul shapes up, takes its learning from this experience for a new beginning. Right now I've started my company, I've started selling my courses. That's a new beginning. It might be late according to my guilt feeling, but that's a new beginning, and it feels so good. So every time guilt or fear takes over, my friends, talk to yourself. That will help you to be more sane in situations. Divert yourself consciously, because in general you will not get mood. When you are sad, you will not feel like playing your favorite playlist. That is like a forceful step. But after a couple of songs, your brain is tuned to such a way it automatically relaxes. It's very hard to just put that shoes and take that walk outside, but the moment you are exposed to the outside world, you will end up walking. So look life as an experiment. I just want to end this video with one last thought, which I have always felt during my bad phase in my life. See, I still remember when I was an 8th or 9th student, 9th standard in my school. That's when the first time they introduced this burette, pipette, some chemistry experiments in my school. So we'll be given so many chemical components with which we will do some experiments. See, as a student, every single time when you do that experiment, you do not know whether you will get the desired outcome. And you're not worried whether the experiment will end up good or bad. You are just curious. Okay, let me do this experiment and let me, look at the outcome. If every single time sadness or hopelessness or something negative takes over you, can you just become that chemistry student who is not judging that situation, but just looking that and then saying, let me experiment with my life and see. I'm not going to judge whether this is good or bad. Okay, I did not fill up my potential. I was too good, I know, but I didn't live up to it, fine. But let me experiment now and see. This very thought of approaching your life as an experiment can give a lot of hope. Because even if once the experiment fails, you can do it one more time. As long as we are breathing, we can just redirect our life whichever way we need to. So I hope this gives you some clarity. So whatever you're going through right now, that's temporary. So if you are in pain, know for sure pleasure is coming your way. If you are right now suffering, it's gonna end soon. Don't ask me when, but it has to end. There's no other option. Because if darkness comes, light has to come. No other option. So if hopelessness exists, hope will come. No other option. So if you are not growing today, tomorrow you'll have to grow. That's the very design. So never give up on yourself. If you're guilty, talk to yourself. Accept it. Look at it as an experiment. We are nothing but made with experiment. So I want to end this video with the same line. All of us are damaged in our own way. Nobody's perfect. But let's make some kind of perfection in this imperfect life. I hope you like the content in this video. I will see you in the next podcast where we will in detail speak about the other emotions that we go through. But if you really like the content in this video, my friends, give me a thumbs up. That would mean a lot to me. Do your comments, share, because I'm personally sharing all the insights and experiences in my life, and I would feel happy if you can throw and share something with me as well. So that would boost my confidence. And if you think this video can help any of your friends, share it with them. And don't forget to subscribe to my channel Gold Mage. And I'll see you soon in another video. Until then, take good care of yourself.